Kurt Vonnegut Jr., Slaughterhouse-Five. Embark on a journey through time and trauma with a Slaughterhouse-Five, where the boundaries of reality and fiction blur under the pen of Kurt Vonnegut. Our summary delves into the life of Billy Pilgrim, a soldier-turned-optometrist who becomes unstuck in time and traverses through the harrowing episodes of World War II, alien abductions, and existential contemplations. Explore themes of fate, free will, and the nature of human suffering as Vonnegut crafts a narrative that's as fragmented as the shattered psyche it mirrors. Key topics include the absurdity of war, the inevitability of death, and the intertwining of personal and historical traumas, encapsulated in the haunting refrain, "So it goes." Whether you're familiar with Vonnegut's work or a newcomer, this summary offers a rich tapestry of powerful insights and poignant moments that challenge traditional storytelling and provoke deep reflection.
Portrait of War's Impact. In the poignant opening of Slaughterhouse-Five, Kurt Vonnegut invites readers into his deeply personal journey through the harrowing landscapes of World War II. He unveils his past as a prisoner of war in Dresden during the devastating firebombing, a traumatic event that has haunted him for 23 years. Despite embarking on various careers, from anthropology to journalism to public relations, Vonnegut remains tethered to the unresolved shadow of Dresden. When he discovers that the bombing's details are still shrouded in secrecy in the United States, he rekindles his mission to capture its aftermath, comparing it to the seemingly impossible task of halting glaciers. Armed with this determination, Vonnegut crafts a bold, albeit fractured, narrative on crayon-covered wallpaper. He is acutely aware of the tragedy's enormity and the paralysis it could instill in his storytelling. Conversations with his wartime comrade, Bernard O'Hare, highlight the complexity of conveying the past. His friend's wife, Mary, sharply questions the romanticization of war in literature. Vonnegut reassures her, promising a narrative that unveils soldiers as the mere children they were, naming his work, The Children's Crusade. In a significant nod to self-examination, Vonnegut parallels his struggle with the biblical tale of Lot's wife, who was turned to salt for her backward glance at desolation. This metaphor underscores his resolution to forge ahead without succumbing to nostalgia. Through these reflections, the autobiographical introduction feels more like a candid disclosure, setting the stage for the novel. Within the tale, Vonnegut's refrain, "So it goes," becomes a signature, a melancholic acceptance of life's inevitable tragedies. Vonnegut's intertwining of his personal saga with fiction reflects the profound psychological scar left by the Dresden bombing. He deliberately chooses a disjointed, nonlinear format to mirror the chaos and futility of war, an approach that reverberates through the protagonist, Billy Pilgrim, whose experiences slip turbulently through time. This narrative technique not only emphasizes war's incomprehensible nature but also blurs the lines between lived experience and art, inviting readers to traverse the fragmented corridors of history and memory with him. Trapped in Time. Billy Pilgrim's unusual journey through life spirals beyond the ordinary bounds of time, embedding him eternally in its fabric. Born in 1922 in Ilium, New York, Billy's frail childhood transitions into an optometry career. However, this path is abruptly disrupted when he is drafted into military service during World War II. His wartime experiences, particularly during the Battle of the Bulge, contribute to a post-war nervous breakdown, requiring shock therapy. Despite this, Billy finds fleeting stability in his professional and family life, until he survives a plane crash in 1968. This crash is a catalyst, leading him to publicly claim alien abduction by the Tralfamadorians, a revelation that distresses his daughter, Barbara. Throughout his existence, reality interlaces with memories of war, such as his capture by the Germans and the forced marches with companion Roland Weary. These moments merge into his present day, characterized by driving through scenes reminiscent of war-torn Dresden, and feeling haunted by memories and emotions. His life's fabric further entwines on the night of his daughter's wedding, as anticipation of another alien encounter intermingles with wartime recollections. Watching a World War II film in reverse fuels his musings on time and existence. When the Tralfamadorian sees him, Billy questions the reason behind this peculiar situation. Their reply, that they too are trapped in time like bugs in amber, adds another layer to his perception of life as he drifts between past and present. Imprisoned once more, this time in a boxcar during wartime, Billy witnesses Roland Weary's demise, a death for which he is wrongfully blamed. In the prison camp and aboard the alien spacecraft, past, present, and future blur together. Billy's nonlinear experiences mirror the novel's narrative style, appending classic storytelling. Despite outward successes, Billy's world seems devoid of substance, as he navigates a path predetermined by the circumstances of war and life's inherent absurdity. In this turmoil, the teachings of the Tralfamadorians emerge: free will is a myth, and fate steers existence, a doctrine reflecting the chaos and inevitability of war. Billy's eventual death, stemmed from the irrational vendetta of another, echoes the senseless acts justified by pride and valor. His reflection on these experiences points to a poignant critique of war's madness. In reimagining a war film backwards, he envisions weapons disappearing and peace reigning, a narrative shift challenging the Tralfamadorian concept of time's nonlinearity. Through Billy's experiences, the story becomes a profound exploration of existence, marked by timeless entrapment and the futility in resisting destiny's grip. Timeless Tapestry. In the Tralfamadorian Zoo, Billy Pilgrim finds himself with only one earthly book, Valley of the Dolls, for company. Here, he discovers the alien way of storytelling, a collection of seemingly unrelated scenes that, seen as a whole, capture the essence of life. This new outlook deeply influences Billy as he leaps through time. Billy's journey is a patchwork of memories, spanning his childhood in the American West, time as a prisoner during World War II in a German camp, and a post-war stay in a New York mental institution in 1948. In the institution, Billy meets Elliot Rosewater, who introduces him to the works of Kilgore Trout, a science fiction writer whose stories resonate deeply with Billy's experiences and perceptions. Through his time traveling, Billy interacts with various figures such as Valencia Merville, his fiancée, and Montana Wild Hack, an actress brought to the zoo as a mate for him. Initially hysterical, Montana grows to trust Billy, and they form an intimate bond. These encounters help Billy glean profound insights about existence and time, much like those taught by the Tralfamadorians, who reveal the fixed nature of time and events, reiterating the universe's cyclical and predetermined end. As Billy navigates these different phases of his life, he comes to terms with past traumas. He encounters fellow prisoners such as Edgar Derby and Paul Lazaro, the latter of whom vows an ominous revenge that concludes with Billy's assassination in 1976 during a public speech. At another point, he returns to 1945, witnessing Dresden, radiant and untouched by war. In a leap forward, Billy is aboard a plane to a Montreal conference with optometrists. Sensing the impending crash, he remains unflustered, knowing his fate. After the crash, he is rescued by Austrian ski instructors, slipping between consciousness and episodic time travel dreams during recovery. He revisits Dresden, stumbling into a shower room of naked women with Derby and, later, a syrup factory where prisoners find comfort in forbidden sweetness. Constant shifts in time and space continue to redefine his perspective. The Tralfamadorians shape Billy's understanding of existence as immutable moments best accepted than resisted. This philosophy, captured in the mantra, "So it goes," becomes a source of peace for Billy, especially amidst war's horrors. Though intent on sharing these revelations with humanity, he paradoxically uses free will to claim its non-existence, showcasing the puzzling dance between autonomy and predetermination. Billy's growing obsession with science fiction, particularly Trout's tales, raises questions about his mental state. Do his Tralfamadorian encounters represent genuine experiences or are they escape constructs of a mind grappling with trauma? His passive acceptance of mysterious energy lumps in his coat mirrors the biblical narrative of Lot's wife, contrasting her defiant fate with Billy's resignation. This dichotomy highlights two ways of coping with trauma, one through confrontation, the other through acceptance. Throughout Billy's story, the line between reality and perception blurs, posing questions of truth and memory. Echoing Einstein's notion that objects are defined by spatial and temporal coordinates, the Tralfamadorian philosophy adopts a vision where all moments coexist. Billy's temporal journey attempts to mirror this holistic view, allowing glimpses into his multifaceted self. Vonnegut crafts a narrative that drifts between genuine time travel and vivid memories, possibly as therapeutic responses to suffering. This ambiguous interplay between reality and imagination leaves readers pondering the nature of existence and the necessity of confronting its challenges. Eternal Echoes. In the dim aftermath of war, a commander presents malnourished prisoners with a tempting yet chilling choice: join the Free American Corps in battle against the Russians, with promises of nourishment and homecoming after the conflict. Amidst this grim offer, Edgar Derby stands defiantly, his voice rising in defense of freedom's cause and hopeful alliances, reminding all of the shared humanity bridging American and Russian destinies. This charged moment is abruptly interrupted by the wail of an air raid siren, forcing everyone into a meat locker refuge, a false alarm, yet a prelude to Dresden's imminent destruction the following night. Billy Pilgrim's tale unfolds in erratic leaps across time and space. In one instant, he faces his daughter Barbara's stern accusations that Kilgore Trout's bizarre tales are to blame for his peculiar beliefs in beings from the distant planet of Tralfamador. Reminded of the day he first met the eccentric author in Ilium, Billy recalls inviting Trout to his anniversary celebration, where Trout's wit entertained guests with such engaging vigor that one guest, Maggie White, walked away convinced that authors, a subgroup of humanity, should be confined for their creative provocations. The evening's climax arrives when the barbershop quartet, Four-Eyed Bastards, stirs haunting memories within Billy, a melody unlocking the grim specters of Dresden's charred aftermath. In another temporal shift, Billy recounts Dresden's harrowing destruction to Montana wild hack on Tralfamador. Back on Earth, chaos envelopes his family as Valencia, Billy's devoted wife, succumbs to a tragic accident while speeding to his hospital bedside, unconscious of her fate. There, Billy's path crosses with Bertram Copeland Rumford, a historian compiling a book on World War II. Oblivious to Billy's direct experience of Dresden's firestorm, Rumford dismisses his recollections, forcing Billy into another temporal escape to recall a serene pre-bombing Dresden afternoon, only to be shattered by the sight of dying horses in war's unrelenting grip. Driven by a resolve to share his visions, Billy eludes the confines of his hospital stay, traveling to New York. There, navigating literary realms, he discovers Trout's narratives parallel his own life's bizarre twists and the provocative magazine headline about Montana wild hack. Masquerading as a journalist, Billy seizes a radio show spotlight, narrating his temporal adventures and the unearthly truths of Tralfamador, only to find himself dismissed and relegated back to his hotel room. Dreaming once more, he arrives on Tralfamador, where Montana wild hack nurses their child, acknowledging the fluidity of Billy's journeys through time. The setting shifts to 1968, a turbulent time marked by the assassinations of Robert F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr., with the relentless drum of Vietnam sounding in the backdrop. This period underscores the alien Tralfamadorian discourse which finds more intrigue in Darwin's theories than traditional religious dogmas. Their acceptance of death as an evolutionary necessity brings into sharp relief the human struggle with mortality. Concurrently, Vonnegut injects a note of personal reminiscence, his return with Bernard O'Hare to a reconstructed Dresden, conjuring reflections over shared sandwiches and probing books forecasting population catastrophes. Vonnegut's wry insights illuminate humanity's eternal quest for dignity amid life's chaotic swell. The narrative's temporal meanderings conclude in post-war Dresden. Billy, amidst the ruins, reluctantly assumes the grim task of body retrieval. As the decay process hastens, the grotesque reality of his assignment peaks with Edgar Derby's execution for looting, a cold commentary on war's twisted justice encapsulated in a simple, resigned phrase, "So it goes." As the season shifts, retreating Germans signal the end of war. Billy, finding solace beside silent horses, faces his mortality with the ironic chirp of a bird posing a cryptic question, a poignant symbol of life's enduring enigma. At the heart of Billy's narrative lies his confrontation with the past, spurred by the musical trigger of the quartet's performance. Vonnegut deftly intertwines Billy's memories of wartime horrors and the profound recognition of life's fragility. Just as Billy comes to terms at the conclusion of the war, so too does he reconcile with the ethereal intersections between his existence and broader historical narratives. Each reflection, carried from the fragmentation of time travel, illuminates the perpetual impact of historically violent acts such as Dresden's bombing. Vonnegut seamlessly weaves a meditation on the scarcity of human dignity, challenging conventional storytelling with the candid treatment of climactic events and illustrating how both joy and terror are woven into the fabric of time, a reminder that memory holds each with incessant persistence.
As we wrap up our exploration of A Slaughterhouse-Five, we find ourselves contemplating the enduring impact of war and human resilience against the absurdities of existence. Vonnegut offers a radical narrative structure that shatters temporal constraints, allowing readers to witness Billy Pilgrim's life as an interconnected series of events rather than a linear path. It underscores the senselessness of conflict and the triviality with which society often regards the profound. Free will is put into question as Billy is swept through life like a bug in amber, illustrating a deterministic viewpoint that resonates with Tralfamadorian philosophy. Yet, Vonnegut invites us to find beauty amidst chaos, as both tragic and joyous moments are frozen in time. The novel's end, ambiguous and metaphysical, leaves us pondering the essence of human dignity, reality, and memory as we confront our own place within the vast tapestry of time.